Alright guys, so welcome to my own Khan Academy. Just kidding. So let's just try this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the unit 4 that we had started, the one that's getting us into the unit circle. I'm gonna start that, basically start over. So the notes that you're gonna see in today's video, probably tomorrow's video, and maybe the next day's video is more of a review than anything, so that we can kind of just start fresh. So you already probably have these in your notes. So if you have your notebook, then get that notebook out right now. Pause me and get that notebook out. Um, and it's up to you if you want to just start fresh with me. I'm not going to fully rewrite. It's going to be like more of a review, but you'll probably have this in your notebook. So it's up to you. If you want to start a whole new fresh notes with me today, start with me. If not, look at your notes, follow along, and then I'm going to ask you to practice either way at the end of these notes, and that you will upload that to Schoology. All right, so here we go. So today we're going to evaluate trig functions. And that's going to be all 6. So remember that we had started talking about the reciprocal functions of sine, cosine, tangent. So let me remind you of those first. All right, so let me reminder about those 6 trig functions. So we already know cosine theta. We know, oh, you know what? I don't want to start with cosine. Let's start with sine. So we know sine theta. We know cosine theta and tangent theta. And we have, oops, I don't know what I did. We have previously seen that as opposite over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, blah, 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 blah. But we, in this unit, started talking about them being represented with like y and x and r. And so let me remind you of that real quick. We had said sine of theta is going to be y over r, cosine is x over r, tangent was y over x. And you'll see later on as we get into the unit circle of why we are using x and y's and blah, blah, blah. Now the reciprocals, whoa, don't know what I did there. The reciprocals were cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta. So remember that sine theta and cosecant theta are reciprocals of one another. And so that means that cosecant theta is r over y. So then cosine and secant are reciprocals of one another. So that means that this is r over x. And cotangent theta and tangent theta are reciprocals of one another. So that means this is x over y. And one more quick thing that we had said before was that since these are fractions, just a reminder that you cannot have a 0 in your denominator. So that means that here x cannot equal 0, here y cannot equal 0, x can't equal 0, let me put a little comma here, cannot equal 0, and y cannot equal 0. Okay, so what is x, what is r, what is y? Let me try my best to draw a quick graph and remind you that, or you know what, scratch that. You should have this graph in your notes. But let me remind you that x and y just come from a coordinate point. So x comma y, they're going to give you this. And then r, you calculate using your x and y. That's a really bad r. Oh my god, what am I doing? R is calculated by substituting in your x and your y values into this equation. X squared plus y squared. And again, that cannot equal 0. So these are some things that you're going to need And let me just kind of put a little squiggly line here. And let's do an example of this. So for example, they're going to tell you, let 8 comma -6 be a point on the terminal side. If you're like, what's the terminal side? This is a good time to go back to your notes and look at this X and Y graph that I made and we labeled. What's the terminal side? What's the other side? Blah, blah, blah. Standard position and blah, 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 blah. And so they're just saying that this point is on this graph that they made after they created an angle. Okay, so this is already again written in your notes. So basically the goal here is find the exact, these are the directions, find the exact values of the 6 trig functions of, of theta. Okay, so again, they're going to just give you a coordinate point. This is all they're going to give you. From there, they expect that you are able to find all 6 of the trig functions: sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, cotangent. And so what I like to do is start off by just labeling that this is my x value, this is my y value. And I know that I need x's, I need y, and then I need an r. So just like I did here, this is what you'll need. I have this, now I need this piece here, right? So I'm going to figure that out before I start plugging in any numbers into sine, cosine, tangent, blah, blah, blah. So r is equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. Okay, so my x is, we said 8, and my y is -6. So r is equal to square root 8 squared is 64. Wow, that is a terrible 4. I will get better at writing a little neater with this pen, but that's going to take me some time. Wow, what am I doing there? Don't know. Okay, here we go. Okay, -6 squared, that's 36. Again, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind me and pause me or whatever, and then write it down, then push play. That's the only cool thing about this. So r is equal to the square root of 64 plus 36, that's 100. Square root of 100 is 10. Okay, so now I have the whole gang here. I have x is equal to 8, y is equal to -6, and r is equal to 10. And then from there, I'm going to start just finding all 6 trig functions. So sine of theta is equal to, well, we set up here, y over r. Y is -6, r is 10, so -6 over 10. Cosine theta is equal to x over r, so 8 over 10. Tangent theta is equal to y over x, so that's going to be -6 over 8. Now, I think I remember now talking about this. Of course, we would never leave our answers like this. You would need to simplify these because all of these can be simplified. So it's up to you. You can keep going with all 6 and then simplify or rewrite them all over. I would probably simplify all these first and then write the last 3. But let me just write them all out. So what do we need? Cosecant theta is the reciprocal of sine, so that's 10 over -6, right? I just flip them. Secant Theta is the reciprocal of cosine, so that's 10 over 8. I don't want decimals. I want you to simplify. So please make sure that you are simplifying. And then cotangent theta is equal to 8 over negative 6. Okay, so then you can go in and simplify these. These are divisible by 2, divided by 2. I think most of these are. And then so my final answer is gonna be negative 3 over 5. And so that means that down here, since these are reciprocals of one another, this is going to equal to what? Negative 5 over 3. I just flipped this. So that's my final answer for this one. That's my final answer for this one. So you see how I'm doing the dirty work up here first, and then I could simplify, I can rewrite the reciprocal functions after I do that. Cosine theta these are both divisible again by 2, divided by 2. So that's going to be 4 over 5. That's our final answer for this one. So that means over here, my final answer is 5 over 4. Just flip that baby. All right, divide this by 2. That's going to equal to negative, what am I doing? 3 over 4. That's your final answer here. That means down here, your final answer is negative 4 over 3. And that's it. You found all 6 trig functions. So go ahead and let me get you some practice ones. I'm just going to make them up. And then this is what I want you to upload a picture of. So class work. Let's see here. I'm gonna do 4, 5, 3, negative 2. Let's see, negative 2, negative 3, and one more. Let's see, 5, no, I already used 5, 6, 7. Okay, so go ahead and work these out, take a picture of your work, and upload these to Schoology. I'll have a link in there, and I'll explain more directions when I upload this video. All right, guys, let me know if you have any feedback about my videos, and what you didn't like or what I should do differently, so that I could do that for the next video.